What's up, everyone? Welcome to Haudenosaunee. We have a great game today between the Haudenosaunee and the Swedes. Two very much underplayed civs, but I think also pretty strong, especially in the hands of top players like these two guys. So let's get into this game. We see Haudenosaunee sending that opening Discovery Travois to the lake, to the pond over here. Well, I think it's big enough to call it a lake. There's a lot of fish in this sea, a lot of whales. Actually, I think there's only 3 whales here, which I think typically has 4, but maybe that's been changed over the years. The dock definitely has been changed. It used to build at a typical speed, but it was nerfed. This opening Travois specifically builds a bit slower. Maybe it's just all docks built from Travois, but it takes quite a while to build now, and that nerfs their opening because they used to be an insane civ on water, be able to get like close to 20 villagers and then with the fast age up, get up to H2 at a very quick speed. So that has been nerfed over the years, but still a viable strategy for sure. And that is what our Haudenosaunee player is doing here, is gathering wood. He's gonna he already built the longhouse, and he's probably gonna make 3 or 4 fishing boats to boost up that economy. Here is his deck. 3 vills in age 1 is the only cards. You got mixed crates, pretty standard Haudenosaunee deck where it's very balanced for H2 and H3, but 5 manlets is an interesting card you don't see all that often, though they have been buffed in recent years. I just still think they're a bit underwhelming. Okay, so the first fishing boat is being trained. There's 1 more in queue and 1 additional fishing boat that's going to be built with this single villager gathering wood. You're going to get to that 70 wood in a little bit. And let's take a look at our other player. Who is this? This is, I believe it's Cutter Boy, a top 3 player, at least top 3. Been finishing high in tournaments over the past few years, and gotta respect the name at this point. He is a very good player, capable of winning any matchup and beating any player. So he's about to pick up, even though very low HP Explorer, he's gonna pick up the 75 wood. And hope that he doesn't get spotted by the Haudenosaunee Explorer and little Pokemon army that he is building up at this point, with Buck the Tame Wolf and a Nootka Clubman. So kind of a imposing force early in the first age, which is something that the native civs can do quite well on a lot of maps. This is a decent map for it because there's usually that native warrior that you can rescue. But let's take a closer look at our Swede player, who's got his 2 torps and villagers distributed on wood, sending out a vill to herd. There's another mine in base, which is nice that he can torp that one up very easily. Let's take a look at his deck as he drops a market. So he's got just the 3 vills in age 1. He does have 2 caravels and a frigate in there to disrupt the water economy. Got his Jaegers and a heavily focused cavalry deck with multiple upgrade cards. This is going to be just for the Hackapels. This is going to be for Hakkas and Huss. And then this is Huss and Hakkas as well. And then Finn horses for both of those units on top of all those upgrades. So and then the Snaplock, of course, is for Hakkas as well. So most likely we're going to see a lot of cavalry from Swedes. I can say that, I think, pretty confidently. Looks like Hunting Dogs has come in. The villager distribution is kind of interesting here because we see just 150 wood. It looks like that's going to be for steel traps and potentially a very fast fortress, as all these villas are on food. What is he aging with? He's aging with the outpost and 200 coins. So yeah, I'm guessing a very fast fortress. Dominions coming in. That's the 4 torp wagon. Church being built. Oh, okay. So he went for a church off that 150 wood, not for steel traps. Picking up 100 food as well from that low HP Explorer. Very good job utilizing that Explorer. And a defensive outpost coming up. So that does look like a fast fortress from the Swedes. What has our Haudenosaunee player done? He did just go with 3 fishing boats. And let's see if we can tell what he aged up with. Since he's already up and already 5 vills has arrived, I have to believe that was a fast age. Apologies for not catching that, but I think we can safely assume that before 5 minutes, if a shipment has arrived, that's the fast age. So that, I mean, that's kind of crazy. Well before 5 minutes, he had the 3 fishing boats from age 1 and 5 vills from age 2 and a forward war hut with some Aena to poke around a little bit. And I mean, this economy is 26 vills very early on. And he does scout that outpost. And he scouts that the Swedish base is well defended, very difficult to poke into, though he is going with Fort Kanya to try to do some of that poking to put a little bit of pressure. Oh, actually a lot of pressure. He is going in, and it looks like he might even start sieging this outpost, unless he's just tanking and trying to idle vills or damage vills. I think that is the case, because these Aena, they do have 30% range resist, which is really good for such a cheap unit. And there we have the Gustavian Guard. The Swedish Helms is that I should have seen that coming with the church. So not a fast fortress at all. And then push of pike is going to give them additional speed, I believe, for a higher cost going forward. But these are very strong units. These are basically veteran. Well, I think they're veteran. They can't be more than veteran. That'd be insane. They are Gustavian Guard, but 28 hand attack, that's pretty high. Okay, to follow that up, we see 2 leather cannons coming from the Swedes. He's at 20 vills, and he does have 6 torps, but that's it. So the limit of the economy is quite limited, especially considering what you usually see the Swedish players doing, going for many torps, trying to get every mine on the map covered as early as possible. But against this aggressive civ like Haudenosaunee, I can totally understand this approach, and I like this composition. Obviously, leather cannons are good versus infantry. They are a bit vulnerable to very low HP, and these Kanya will take them out super quick. So you gotta have really good micro here, and this is gonna be, I think, a treat to watch as one of the best players utilizes such a what is it, a glass cannon type of unit. And there they are, quite vulnerable, but a nice pull trick, bringing them behind the halbs and just getting a little bit extra damage on the Kanya. Very nice move there. And I don't think I don't think those boys were ever gonna get touched. I think he was baiting it a little bit there, trying to get some damage onto those Kanya, because these halbs will take them out very quickly, over 50 damage per smack, and these guys will drop very quickly. So it's a delicate situation right now. We still just have hunting dogs on these vills, no steel traps. An additional torp is going to be going up, and he's gathering even more wood. So I'm curious. Oh, he's dropping a dock. Wow, look at that. I mean, it's pretty safe to assume that Hauds went water here. So maybe that's his game plan there. Splitting up the helps a little bit, trying to surround these Kanya if possible. And that dock does go up. I'm kind of surprised with the macro. Okay, he's going for just a single fishing boat for now. And because of limited food that he's starting to run out of. Oh, Kanya trying to commit here. A villager going to go down, but the cannons are safe for now. Big shots from the infantry on that cannon. One is down. Halbs running all over the place, trying to split up. Minutemen are called, and the Halbs are catching the Kanya, and that one leather cannon is still somehow alive. A couple Halbs in there fighting against the Tomahawks. Aena starting to target that leather cannon, now moving in, kind of going into melee, unsure of what to do, and finally the leather cannon goes down. But not after doing lots of damage. Just 3 Halbs remain, but the infantry from the Haudenosaunee has been thinned out quite a bit. And you see this card coming in now. Very nice timing for it. The 3 Hussar. As the last Tomahawk goes down, if these Aena stick around, they are all going to get destroyed by this big, great timing and potentially very valuable shipment as more fishing boats. Oh, and the Aena are trying to target the vills. Another bait by Ketterboy, and the Huss pop out, and they're going to get some extreme value here. No Tomahawks anywhere to be seen. A very good split, though, and Hauds is able to save a decent amount of those Aena, and actually quite surprised that he didn't pursue with the Huss a little bit more there. So utilizing the resources in base as much as possible. Swedes is getting out more and more fishing boats, kind of already matching or about to surpass the water economy from the Haud. So, and we do see that there's likely to be an age up coming. In just a second, we will come back to see what that age up selection is. As we take a look at Hauds again, up to 37 Vills. More Tomahawks are following behind these Aena, and more Aena in production as Vills are starting to get out on the map and having to be a little bit more vulnerable than they were early in the game. Huss are starting to make their way around and potentially get a raid. Aena just tanking with their 30% range resist, causing a lot of idle time. But we see a couple infantry combat cards. Well, hit points and the combat conservative tactics, and now War Hut warrior attack. So going all in on the infantry focus here. Does he see these Huss? He does see the Hussar. Unfortunately, Swedes did not go for the forward hunt, but should still get a villager. And we have an interesting scenario brewing here, as the TC is totally idled for Swedes. 13 Vills in there. Many of the other Vills did escape. We got 8 on wood here, and then 5 fishing boats, 1 Vill on the island as well. Always something nice to have, and, you know, just keep, I guess, 1 villager or a couple villagers safe, and potentially throw some houses or an outpost on that and really control the water from that stance, from that position. And the Huss splitting up and getting another raid, going to get an additional villager and another one up here. So these 3 Huss are getting lots of value right now, as we do see another batch of Hussar. Or was that was from the... Okay, so he did age up and sent the 5 Hussar shipment. And we have Jaegers coming in from the church. Enough wood was gathered up to get the 6 stealthy Jaegers. But is it enough? There's a few Tomahawk here. Looks like just 5 remain. And I think if with good micro, Swedes is going to be in a great position here. The War Chief taken out as well. I think he was not able to get one of those Eagle Eye shots, which would have been super valuable onto these Jaegers. But yeah, it looks like a total cleanup here with the stealthy Jaegers and the 5 Hussar shipment. Very good job. And now Falconet's on the way. Swedes is looking in great position, though that TC did go down below half HP. And we still have 1 Hussar rating, just like being super annoying to the Haudenosaunee player. Forced his Vills back, forcing a second War Hut, which probably might be a little bit overdue when you take into account the economy. But he's going to be able to, if he can safely secure these hunts, he's going to be able, okay, that 1 Hussar is going to get taken out by all these Aena, which are now triple carded, and 7 Aena on the way. Second War Hut, as I said, is completed now. So more fishing boats being produced because all these Vills are forced to be on the trees close to the town center due to those raids. And we see a corral now going up. So this is the situation where it gets a little bit scary for Haudenosaunee. You've got a bunch of different units that you want in your composition. Aena are solid, they're cheap. You want some Tomahawks though for the anti-cav, and then you of course want some Kanya for the anti-artillery. So you're forced to build multiple buildings, and again, wood is still the slowest gathering resource. No upgrades because they're so expensive from the market, and honestly, I don't even see, there is no market from Hauds. He's going, spending all that extra resources from the water back into the water, so no land upgrades for the villagers. They're still on base gather rates. But we do have a large amount of units in production right now, so could be a pretty good timing here for the Hauds. Let's see. Okay, so Swedes still playing this very defensively, making a priest and healing up some of these Jaegers and some defensive walls for the Falconets. I like this positioning. I like the thinking there. And 4 Jaegers now being produced from a saloon in the back of the base, as food is still a bit of a scarce resource for the Swedes. It's adding in more torps that are going to give it a little bit of gather rate, as these ones are about to be depleted, these berry bushes. So I do like that he's adding in more Jaegers. I wonder if they cost that 80 and 80 from the saloon, or if they cost full coin from the saloon. I'm not sure. It's hard to I know from a barracks they'll cost 80 and 80, but we'll have to watch the resource count. And 5 Hakkas arrives. Very good defensive position. Very difficult to push into. So I see why Hauds is backing up here. Let's see. Is he going to queue up on it? We have Log Flume now coming in. Villagers are still being produced consistently. So that's good. Even though we put all the fishing boats on whales. Is he going to be able to get another Jaeger or two here? No, just a single Jaeger in that batch, unfortunately. More fishing boats. 41 Vills for the Swedes. 49 for the Hauds. Another 6 Aena going to be coming. And this is going to be a very, very close fight. It's going to be all about micro. And if the Cav can block the Kanya from getting onto those Falks. And I think right now, it's, yeah, Hauds is just too afraid to take this fight. Oh, the Aena are bunched up and take a blast to the face there. More Aena coming in, though. Very good drag box by the Swedes, blocking these Kanya. I don't know if they're even going to get one single hit. Okay, there's one and a second one. So half HP on a single Falk. Oh, we actually got a third hit. But the Aena are taking these shots right to the face. The other Aena, reinforcing Aena, going in for the flank, trying to take out... They should be able to get both Falks here. Yeah, they do. With some melee attack and some Aena in the back. So they do clean that up. But these Jaegers are so superior to the Aena. It's just not a good fight to take. They need to back up. They need to get out of here. These Jaegers have 260 HP, 40% range resist. Even more range resist than the Aena, which are typically on the higher end of that stat. So... I mean, they only cost 100 food, so in that sense, they are more cost effective, probably. But really, it's just, these Jaegers are just so superior, so I think this is a mistake, continuing to flood these Aena in. And they're going to be pursuing as far as they can. However, Aena do have that extra speed, so they will be able to retreat. So overall, I think that fight went into the favor of the Swedes, because they took out just such a large mass. The value of the units that was lost for Swedes was quite high. The Falconets, the Hussar, 5 or 4, looks like, well, maybe a couple of those Hakkas were saved, but a decent amount of units that are hard to replace were taken out there. So we'll have to see how... Okay, the Frigate coming in, and that's going to take out the little... Oh, maybe not. Some fishing boats snuck away, but the dock is going to go down, and I think that we'll find those fishing boats eventually. However, back on land, we have another reinforcing batch, but man, look at this Jaeger count, up to 18. We have another reinforcing batch of Hakkas being queued up. 1k coin on the way, and Hauds is just too... I mean, I don't even know if they could take this battle without the Hakkas there. There's so many Jaegers, and they're just such powerful units. They can probably take that on their own. The dock finally going down. More fishing boats coming out of Swedes. An outpost there, as I was mentioning, just to secure this fishing area a little bit. And these Haud fishing boats are trying to sneak away, and they actually are going to be safe for now, as long as they don't get into the line of sight of the opponent's fishing boats. Alright, so is Swedes starting to break out at all, or do they even need to anymore? With all these fishing boats and now a mill in the back of the base, as well as Jaegers being produced that don't cost any food, maybe he doesn't need to come out of his base, economically at least. Military-wise, he is starting to push, and he's starting to claim a little bit of the map. This frigate does have good range around this hunt and this mine, so that's a nice little benefit of that. This cut in, this little... bay here that allows that frigate to get even more value is a nice little benefit, because it cuts pretty deep into the middle of the map. I don't think that's always the case on this map, so nice usage there, extra value from the frigate. All right, so this is a dangerous spot for Swedes here to be pushing into and potentially getting surrounded. However, oh, and we do have stealthy Jaegers now, or at least... Yeah, they're all stealthy. It almost looks like some of them aren't, but look at these guys hidden in the trees. as we do have a hacker raid going on, and the age up is coming. Oh my gosh! Oh no! Is he gonna bump into them? He bumps into some of the Jaegers, and he's gonna catch them. 11 Kanya are catching these Jaegers as the hackers are completely out of position. Oh my gosh, he's gonna get so much value here. The frigate is supporting with some very good damage along the shore, but oh my gosh, just a total positioning mishap there. As I mean, you don't often think that these stealthy Jaegers are gonna get bumped into, but a very good decision for Hauds to go in there and try to find the Jaegers, and he did find. He got some value there, maybe not enough. Ooh, and doesn't want to lose these two, but it looks like he might. Okay, he's saving at least 1.5 of them. Age up is almost in. The warrior is that age up. He's still got a little bit of wood left on the floor he needs to pick up, but he's gonna need a very big batch of Kanya. You know, he can go 6 Kanya. That's a good card in age 3. He needs to upgrade them. He probably needs another stable. Villagers are safe on the southern part of the map here, so that's good for him as well. Oh, the warrior was the manlets. Oh, I wonder if he. Okay, he's going war hut warrior combat, and now going into forest prowlers. The Haka mass is growing, and this is gonna be trouble. As the war chief gets a very good shot off, but he's likely to go down, and that's a big loss for the bonus stats of all these units here. And the Kanya are going in. They are not upgraded. Hackers are retreating to get back into position to defend these Jaegers. This ever-growing Jaeger mass is now up to 22. Kree upgrades are starting to come in for the Swedes. And I just don't know. I mean, there's going to be a forest prowler pop. Oh, it looks like they are here already. So they are very strong units, and they're going to be actually 4. There's going to be 4 upgrades on them, I think. So very, very strong units, especially for their costs. As Kanye are getting some pretty good picks here. But Hauds is forced to retreat. Man, this Haka mass is really starting to grow. And we're starting to see that cavalry focus that we thought we were going to see from the beginning of the game. But another big batch of forest prowlers, as these guys, yeah, war hut combat. I mean, just this conservative tactics. Yeah, that's all infantry. So these are 4 card upgraded forest prowlers right now. 25 attack, 179 HP. For their cost, they are really good. Don't want to lose them though. And look at this economy, is actually not that bad for Hauds. Up to 56 vills. He's got lots of excess food. He's got to rebalance this economy a little bit. And then he might be able to compete here a little bit more if he gets full batches of prowlers. The score looks terrible, but I don't know if that's really super representative of the game. Maybe these Jaegers are overvalued a little bit, and maybe the forest prowlers are undervalued because of all the upgrade cards. Not sure that's taken into account entirely. But we're starting to see, you know, there's a situation that we could be seeing for Hauds. If he decides to go for these big buttons from the TC, he can utilize this wood and get a lot of tomahawks out, which aren't going to be super valuable against the Jaegers. But when you have them, they're just pretty strong units, and we have 4 cards on them. They're going to be very, very good in general. So let's take another look back at Swedes. He's getting the trample tactics, I believe that was. Yeah, so another little boost for the Hakas. Let's see, he's got range cav combat in as well. But those are the only upgrade cards for Swedes so far. He looks like he got range cavalry call, or is planning to very soon. Look at this tightly packed base. Another mill and estate. More torps, mostly on wood here. So utilizing the space that he has and generating just a little bit more resources just for the housing space that he needs to continue growing this military. Jaegers, and so no advance. Oh, you know what? He can get, I think Swedes get advanced arsenal for free, I believe. So maybe he's able to get some upgrades from there for these Jaegers. Now we're up to 29 Jaegers, and this is the big switch. This is, I think, what's going to really be a pain for Hauds. The veteran Hussar switch, which is they are benefiting from just one of these cards. So they're better than just veteran. They're going to be tough to handle for the Hauds. Wow. Okay. Very, very surprising decision making here, going industrial, and maybe it could work out. I'm not sure if it's going to work out, but I think he's starting to see he needs to get some light cannons to deal with these Jaegers. Now he does see these veteran hussars, so he's backing up further and further. He's now training Cree CDB. He's gonna have to sack this base. Almost just everything is gonna go down here. Multiple houses, so he's got a lot of wood to chop and buildings to replace. And he's starting to queue up the big buttons from the TC for the tomahawks. He's gotten, I noticed he got veteran tomahawks. So there's none of them on the field at the moment, but when they come out of that TC, they will be veterans. So gonna be pretty strong units there. Oh, but the villagers are in a dangerous situation. Oh, luckily, so lucky that they decided to back up there. Could have lost everything. Champion tomahawks now coming in. Multiple war huts going up. We're gonna see one big button. We're gonna see probably another one immediately after that. This is a large infantry mass, and these are very strong units. Here we go. The war party big button is coming now. Got to keep that war chief alive, get him in the back, and keep that buff for your units. Champion tomahawks is over 300 HP at this point. And if we can get champion forest prowler, which I think is what he is targeting, looks like it's going to be going in queue any second now. And he might actually have a pretty solid chance with just pure military strength. But I think he's leaking out units a little bit too much here and forgetting to get that champion forest prowler upgrade. He really needs to queue that up. Sending in the Kanya to try to get the snare as the cavalry are a little bit away. But again, I think he's just leaking. Maybe he's getting value here. I don't know. It's interesting. I think to me, this is Swedes is clearly aging up. That's why he's retreating and not taking this fight. And yes, we do indeed see that. And we see culverins in queue for him. And finally, champion forest prowlers is coming in. Lots of crates on the floor. He really needs to pick this up to give him a big boost economically and potentially get some more military out. But we do see a clear strategy here from the Hauds going for the light cannon spam at this point. Boy, this is killing me that he's not. Look at how many resources here. 400 food, a couple hundred coin, and about 300 wood. Please, my man. And there's sheep there as well. Oh, boy. Oh, wait. The infantry just walking up on each other. And this could be a good trade for these champion forest prowlers. 28 attack, 206 HP. Oh, boy, man. He's got to stop losing that war chief, though. Okay, so that explorer does find the information that it needs to for the Swedes, finding the entire composition of the Haudenosaunee. And here come the culverin. Field cannon being researched for the Haudenosaunee, though. And this amount of Jaegers is quite low here. He's got to flip the army. There we go. Tomahawks are now in front, and they're going to have to do a lot of damage to the cavalry. I think they're a little bit too bunched up here because the Hakas do that splash damage. And we see light cannons against culverin. Jaegers are starting to go down. Oh, but really good shots from the culverin. They're getting a little bit of an advantage here. And the Hakas are just tearing through the infantry line of the Hauds. And I think this might be nearing the end as we see the GG coming in there. Really well done by the Swedes. Just expanding the economy as much as they can from a tight position. Pinned in their base, never really left, maybe just a little while ago, sending some vills out to that mine and finally getting out to this hunt here. But a really nice turtle and just maximizing their units as much as they can. Getting these Jaegers from the saloon because they didn't have much food to gather and ended up pulling this out without having to leave their base much at all. And economically, you can see Haudenosaunee was ahead for a large part of this game until I think the raids started and forced the pressure from Swedes pushed to the middle of the map and forced Haudenosaunee off of the hunts and the coin, the natural resources. Well done, and good game for the Swedes. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.